With the Engwe L16, we are off to a good start already because it fits standing up in the back of my van, and I love ease of portability. Alright, so this is the Engwe L16, and Engwe claims that this bike can replace your car for light-duty activities like, you know, running around town, going to the dollar store, things like that. And I'm going to put that to the test today. To me, something that's going to replace your car needs to have good range and good speed. So I've got this bike unlocked to its top speed of 28 miles per hour, and this bike has 41 amp hours of battery. It's got an 18 amp hour front battery, 23 amp hour rear battery. Now, when you use the throttle on this bike, it has throttle override, so it overrides the pedal assist levels and it goes right up to the top speed. So I'm going to start off and just do a pedal assist level test here to start out. And we're going to do a speedometer test and a speedometer accuracy test here to see if the speedometer is actually accurate. But starting out in pedal assist level 1, and here with me pedaling it, boy, it takes off pretty well. It's got some punch to it. And I'm just lightly pedaling it, making the bike do most of the work. And it looks like it's still gaining. I think this is a torque sensor. That's what it feels like. Let me give it a little bit more. Yeah, this is a torque sensor for sure. Top speed on the bike speedometer says 13 miles per hour, and again, I'm just casually pedaling. And the GPS says 13, 12, 13. They seem to be pretty close, within a mile per hour margin of error. Let's go up to level 2. With the same effort, the bike speedometer says around 18 and a half, and GPS is saying 17. Level 3. Same effort's taken us to 22, 23 on bike speedometer, 21 on GPS. Level 4. 28, 26 on GPS, 29 on the built-in, 27, so it's off by about 2 miles per hour. And level 5. It looks like it gets to about 29.9, and then it cuts out for power. And the speedometer seems to be matching GPS at this speed, so that's very nice. It's good to see an accurate speedometer. Don't see that very often. Okay, so with the speedometer accuracy test out of the way, now I'm going to ride down 22 miles and then come back 22 miles. That is if these batteries hold out. Engwe says this can replace a car. I'm going to treat it like a car. I'm going to ride this thing like I would a motorcycle, moped, or scooter. I'm going to go throttle only the entire way down, and I'm going to make the bike do all of the work. And we're going to be doing this at its top speed, because I think if you're going to have something that's going to be expected to replace a car, it should be able to hold a speed that is consistent with car speeds for a decent range. Now, Engwe claims that you can get up to 150 miles of range out of this bike. Now, I would say that that is under ideal conditions. I weigh 190 pounds. The bike weighs over 100 pounds itself. And I would say that that is also riding it like this in pedal assist level 1 and putting some effort into it yourself and sharing some of the work with the bike. But if we're going to treat this as a car replacement today, I'm going to treat it like a motorcycle. I'm going to ride it with throttle only. I'm going to ride it at top speed, and we're going to ride it at that top speed 30 miles per hour for a total of 44 miles. And based on my calculations, we should be able to get 44 miles out of this bike with what it's got. Now, will the bike go 44 miles at 30 miles per hour? That's actually a pretty big ask with the combined weight of the bike and me. But we shall see. Now, we do have minimal stops on this ride, and I will be slowing down for other cyclists and pedestrians. With all of those stipulations being laid out, here we go. I'm taking a little detour here to do a hill climb test. Now, I gotta say this in every video, but look at the height of the hill as we are back here. These cameras with their fisheye lenses tend to flatten out hills, and they make them look a lot less steep. So look at it back here, because when we get up on it, it's gonna look basically flat. I can tell you right now, this bike is gonna crush this hill because this bike has a lot of torque. And with these little 16-inch wheels, it takes off from a stop with a lot of power. All right, here we go. We're gonna take off and climb this hill. Pedal assist level 5 from a dead stop. Yeah, most bikes kind of run out of juice about midway up this hill. This one is holding 18 miles per hour. Now it's starting to drop off a little bit, but if I were to pedal, it would give it a little bit more speed for sure. Under the bike's own power, it capped out at around 15 miles per hour around the top. And now I'm gonna turn around and get back on the trail because I don't like riding e-bikes on country roads. And we'll see what kind of downhill advantage we get. See, even with the downhill advantage, the bike cuts out at 29.9 miles per hour. Yeah, back on the trail, there is definitely something in the bike's controller that governs it at that 30 mile per hour cap, because when I had that downhill advantage, the bike capped out at 29.9 miles per hour. Same as it did on flat ground. But with all of that being said, I'm going to continue to do our 44 mile range test. And as soon as I quit talking, I'll get up to 30 miles per hour. Now, I will say one more thing before I get up there. If you buy the dual battery version of this bike, the bike ships with one battery, and then you'll get the second battery in a second shipment, and you have to install it yourself. Engwe provided me an instructional video to follow, and it was very, very easy to install the second battery. I charged both batteries up to 100%, and the back battery is so big that it actually takes quite a while to charge these batteries up. Now, like I said, the front battery is an 18 amp hour battery. The back battery is a 23 amp hour battery, and it's a 3 amp charger. So divide each battery's amp hours by 3, and that's how long it's going to take you to charge each battery. So it's going to take you around 6 hours total to charge the front battery from completely dead to completely full, and it's going to take around 8 hours to charge the back battery from completely dead to completely full. Okay, with all of those stipulations and disclaimers out of the way, I'm going to get on with the range test, and I'm going to check in every little bit as, oh my goodness, this bike does not have rear suspension. It is a hardtail, and when we hit really bumpy terrain, it kind of goes through your bones. But with all of that being said, let's get on with the 44 mile range test. I'll be checking in every little bit to let you know where we're at for progress. We're coming up on the 8 mile mark now, and I have just been cooking this entire time. I am covering so much ground so fast. Normally with my range tests, I only do about 15 to 20 miles per hour. I'm doing like double that with this bike. It's got the battery to do it, so hey, why not? We're still setting at 5 out of 5 battery bars too. I have covered so much ground so fast with this bike. It is insane, and it is so much fun to ride. I've got faster, more powerful bikes than this, but I generally only ride them at like 15 to 20 miles per hour because I do a lot of really long range riding, and I've got to preserve the battery. So what's the point of having all of that power if you can't use it? I mean, if it blows through the battery so fast. But yeah, I've come so far on this, and the battery's still hanging strong at 5 bars. All right, this is pretty amazing. I just made it to Urbana. This is about a 20-mile ride. The bad news is I was fiddling around with the screen and accidentally reset the trip odometer. But what I'm going to do is throw a Google Maps overlay on the screen here. We're still sitting at 5 bars. I'm going to continue. Okay, this is Cedar Bog Nature Preserve. I got here a little late and they are closed now, but this is exactly 22 miles from where I left. I've mapped it out before and I've done other range tests here. And we are at 4 bars out of 5. So I'm going to turn around, head back now. And this is 4 bars of full throttle pretty much the entire time. I've slowed down for foot traffic and for other cyclists, but that's about it. For the most part, I've just been running at full throttle, wide open the entire time. And as I was sitting here talking, the voltage came back up on the battery meters. So I'm going to head back from here. It's 22 miles to get back to the beginning. And I am pretty confident that with this battery, these 2 batteries holding out the way they're holding out, it's going to carry me back at full throttle. No problem at all. All right, I was going to do a range check-in, but I stopped to get a quick drink, and we were at 3 bars out of 5. And in that little time that I stopped for 2-3 minutes, the battery meter went back up to 4 bars. So there's some voltage sag going on for sure. I'm certain there's going to be enough energy to get back home. It's just a matter of, will it get back home at full throttle, which I have basically been running this thing pegged at full throttle the entire time. All right, at this point I got about 11 miles to go to get back to the beginning. And we just dropped to 2 bars. So I have no doubt in my mind that I'm going to have enough energy to get back. But when it drops to 1 bar, I'm going to drop down in the power. But when it drops to 1 bar, I'm going to start pedaling and helping the bike out. Just because I don't want to pedal this thing without any power with it being a 110-pound bike. All right, our little Eagle buddy right here. This is Eagle Hill. This is exactly 8 miles from my starting point. So I got to go 8 miles to get back to the beginning. I'm still sitting at 2 bars out of 5. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I think I'm going to be able to run this all the way back at full throttle. And I'm pretty happy to be running back at full throttle too because the mosquitoes are starting to come out. Okay, so our mile marker here says we have 3 more miles to go. I'm still holding steady doing 29 miles per hour, 29.9 miles per hour. We got 1 bar left. I'm going to hold it and see if we can make it back holding full throttle. Okay, after I cross this intersection up here, I'll have about a mile left to go. I slowed down just to talk. The bike's got plenty of go juice left. It's still holding 30 miles per hour. But I just wanted to say that this video is just a first impressions video. I did knock out a lot of the specs and features and what the bike is actually capable of, but I'm going to do a follow-up video with this bike in its actual like intended environment. This was just a range test just to see how far it could actually go. In my next video, I'm going to take this to my old neighborhood and bop around and see how it does, just riding it around, treating it as a neighborhood vehicle. But as far as range goes, I think this thing has got it. When I cross this intersection up here, I'm going to be booking it for the last mile, and then when I get to my van, I'm going to hop off, load this thing up, and get the heck out of Dodge, because this time of night, mosquitoes are really, really bad out here on this trail. Anyway, if you want to see my follow-up video for this bike, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. I'm going to wrap things up now. Thank you for watching. That's it for now, and I'll see you next time. All right, here's our final range check-in. We are at 1 bar. It was still holding about 28, 29 miles per hour, and that is 44 miles. And I am out of here. The mosquitoes are getting me.